I am Sarah, an athlete, a student, an opioid user.
I am Raymond, a musician, a brother, and depressed.
I am Julia, a mother, a baker, an alcoholic.
We are the faces of mental health and substance use disorder.
We are not defined by our illness.
We deserve to recover.
Start your journey to recovery today. For innovative substance use disorder treatment, let our mobile recovery unit come to you. CN Guidance and Counseling. Hope starts here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join CN Guidance and Counseling Services Hour of Hope, supported by M&T Bank, our title sponsor for this event, and Alcott HR, our appreciative sponsor. My name is Liz Burke, and I am one of the organization's volunteers serving on its board of directors. I am humbled to serve as the MC for this event tonight. Over 200 people have signed in to watch the Hour of Hope, and we're very grateful for that. Serving all of Long Island, CN Guidance and Counseling Services has helped countless individuals recover from mental health issues. This year in particular has been very challenging for all of us. During this trying time, our goal for this Hour of Hope is to provide support, help, understanding words, and maybe bring a smile to some faces. We have a wonderful lineup of guests tonight, including our featured speaker, News 12 Long Island anchor, Erin Colton. She has been a true inspiration and in some ways even a support system within her social media network this year. We're grateful to have Erin here tonight to share her personal story. We will hear from Erin in a few minutes. First, the CEO of CN Guidance and Counseling Services, Jeffrey Friedman, will share a few words with us. Jeffrey, good evening.
Thank you, Liz. These past few months have been very trying and challenging for all of us. And tonight, together, we choose to embrace hope and all the things that we're thankful for. For me, I'm thankful for my CN Guidance family. I'm truly thankful to work with 360 individuals who come to work each and every day and give of themselves in a very selfless manner. 7,000 people a year come to CN Guidance and seek help for mental health or substance abuse treatment. Our staff make each and every one of them feel cared for and ensure that they get the help they need. Our staff are truly special. I'm so grateful that during this pandemic, our staff continue to give of themselves. Not once during this whole pandemic have we turned anyone away from services or closed our doors. This is truly a testament of the incredible people that I work with. I'm truly blessed to be part of such an amazing team. I'm grateful to have a kind, compassionate, and committed board of directors guiding us through this very special organization. One of my favorite parts of my job is to get to meet amazing people with diverse backgrounds. Tonight, you'll get to know one of them, News 12 anchor Erin Colton. Breaking down stigma and standing courageously with us tonight, Erin is shining an example of how someone who can influence others can make a difference by starting a conversation. What was once taboo to discuss, Erin shatters those social norms and will have a frank discussion about mental health. I'm so very proud she is part of our team now. Before I end, I'd like to thank Liz for donating her time in organizing this event and emceeing tonight. And I'd like to thank all of you for your continued support. Thank you for entrusting us for nearly 50 years in helping people who need it the most. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Erin Colton is an award-winning journalist for News 12 Long Island. She wakes us up every morning from the anchor desk of News 12. Working at the station for 16 years, Erin is a true local talent who is, in my opinion, one of the most authentic and energetic journalists on television today. Erin, thank you for joining us this evening.
Hey, Liz. Hey, Jeffrey, Nancy, Linda, thank you so much for letting me be a part of I'm unmuted now. Okay. Liz, Jeffrey, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of tonight. You guys are thanking me, but I really should be thanking you for, again, allowing me to tell my story and all of the work that you do to help so many Long Islanders in need and who are just hopeless out there. And all they need is just a little bit of hope. And that's what you guys are about. So thank you for all that you do. I first just want to start off saying I don't have any written script for tonight. My life is like to say, live all the time. So that's how I want to really discuss things tonight with you, by just talking to you and having one of those conversations. I want to say that this is my personal story. Everyone's story is different. I'm not a professional, but sometimes when you talk about your personal story, it resonates with other people out there about their personal stories. So I just want, if this is off for anyone, everyone has a different story, and that's okay. Okay, so first off, I know that a lot of people on my Instagram joined tonight, and thank you so much for doing that. I was surprised because a lot of moms and dads out there said, do you think that, my son or my little daughter could listen? And I said, absolutely, I'm sure. And that really, really told me that I had to go back to my childhood, because that's where really everything began for me. But I didn't know it then. I'm 38 years old. I was only diagnosed with anxiety and started even seeking help at 30 years old. So only 8 years ago. I was always a worrier as a child. I always had that worried feeling, that nervous belly, which, at first thought is not anxiety. Everyone worries. But when worries and worrisome thoughts take over your days and your weeks, that's when maybe you have to start having a conversation with someone. I always stayed with my parents. I was very open with my parents, but my mom always called me her little worrier. And that's just kind of what I thought it was all about. For kids who are listening out there, things like I would not be able to sleep before a test. I would throw up before the first day of school. Little things that just my friends weren't experiencing. And again, this could just go down to you think a lot of things that are going. You're a little more cerebral than other people. But worried thoughts and worried feelings were taking over my life at a very young age. Going back to, I think, as young as 7 years old is when I really, like first grade, second grade, I knew I was thinking too much about things, and my friends were not thinking as much as I was. So that's when it really started hitting hard. I didn't know it at the time, but through therapy, I was able to go back and kind of distinguish that and understand that. My therapist would ask, when was the first times you were experiencing these types of feelings? And we dated all the way back to first or second grade. And I think that was important for my recovery. But we'll get to recovery, and if that even is a word, because you deal with this probably for the rest of your life. So we'll get to that in a second. I was married when I was 30. And this was really the turning point in my story of my anxiety. I knew I probably shouldn't have been getting married, but I had been dating this person for about 4 years, and that's the next step, right? When you're in your late 20s, when you date someone for that long and they ask you to marry you, you just say yes, right? Well, for me, I did just say yes. And I brought 65 family members and friends to Mexico, and I got married. And the second I walked into my brand new home, I had my first full-on panic attack that I can remember. Just debilitating feelings, not being able to move, my body tingling, exhausted from deep or heavy breathing. A lot goes into panic attacks, and they're different for everyone. And that's important to note. They're different for everyone. But that was my first one. And if I didn't have a friend who also went through this with me or had the same feelings, I wouldn't have understood what it was. His name is John Parisi. You may know him from Roger and JP with WBAB in the morning. He lives around the block from me. And I told him some of the things I was going through, and he said, girl, you have anxiety, and I was like, oh yeah, I know. I've been worrying since, however long. And he was like, no, I think you need to talk to my therapist, at least have a conversation. I said, okay. So I went to a therapist, and after a couple times, it was clear, like crystal clear to this therapist that I definitely had anxiety issues, and I had general anxiety disorder. I have the type of anxiety where I can go through days and lunches and dinners and nights out and live shows in the morning where you would not be able to tell at all, because I am a master at hiding it. My motto for so long was I would fake it till I made it. And I still do that sometimes. But through help and therapy, I was able to realize, hey, you're doing that, stop faking this. Stop faking this life that you're fine when you're not. It's only destroying you, which it did for a point. I'm telling you, I would come home from having a rockin' day at work. I killed that live story. I got that live update. I did the best one in the business for days of a live reporter. I would come home. I would barely make it up to my bedroom until I was in the corner with a blanket covering me, not being able to see the world until I had to do it all again the next day. And that's tough. I'm a worst case scenario type girl, and that's a very big trait of someone with anxiety. You just go to jumping off the mountain. There's no in between. There's an anxious thought, and then there's jumping off a cliff. And it's that time in between, and that space in between, and that land in between that I wanted to try to expand. And maybe at first walk towards the cliff. At first take a couple steps, but not just go to jumping right off of it with these thoughts of worst case scenario. And what I mean by that is just a normal worst case scenario is walking through the newsroom at News 12, seeing my boss close his door and thinking that he's talking about me and that I'm getting fired. Just ridiculous thoughts that I can call ridiculous. Other people shouldn't call thoughts of their friends or their family members that feel that ridiculous, because they're real. They're very real. I used to come home and tell my ex-husband that, and he would laugh at me, and he would be like, what are you talking about? Like, they love you. And what I'm talking about is what I'm feeling. And that's how I feel. I feel like since he closed the door, when I walk by, he's talking about me. So I wanted to get past that. Being a public figure, someone who's on live TV every single morning for pretty much 8 hours a day, you have an expectation to be perfect. Not everyone has that. But the expectation to be perfect also played a lot with my head. So much though that it would be a Friday and I would be doing a live report at noon, and I would say the word is instead of. No one would understand that was a mistake, but I did. And I wouldn't be able to think of another thing throughout the entire weekend until I got back to work on Monday. That's severe. So my therapist that I was seeing, he asked me to read a book called The Art of Imperfection. And I recommend it to everyone who has this aura in their mind that they have to be perfect. Because gosh, did that change my life. I go back to that book multiple times a day, every day. It talks about how being perfect isn't achievable, nor is it even healthy. And it's the imperfections in life that get to your perfect. It names some sports teams that had a so-called perfect season, but also goes through all the bumps in the road throughout that season that people don't see. So in my mind, when I stutter now live on TV, I just think that's me. And I own it. And I think it's normal. And I embrace it. And it wouldn't be without that therapy, reading that book, talking to a therapist about these problems and these thoughts, that I would feel that this way today. It's not always, sometimes there's bad stumbles, but for the most part, I just, in my mind, I go, I'm normal. I just woke up too. Things like that. There's also, and I just want to quickly get back to other people's comments because they're there and they played a huge role in my life, especially because I'm a fake it till I make it type girl. People would see me out. They would see me on social media posting stories. So it's like, wait, what's wrong? You're anxious? Well, yeah, no, I'm hiding it from people. You don't understand. In fact, I'm probably a better person and a more active person in society than you because I'm working so hard to hide it. So it's hard when you get judged by people about being like, well, what's wrong? Everything? Nothing? I don't know. When you have anxiety, you can't answer that question. You can't say, oh, it's because I ordered a wrong custom door and it arrived at my door today and it's wrong and I have to order the whole thing all over again. That's acute things that you can say. When you have anxiety and you have anxious feelings, you don't know what's wrong. Everything is wrong. So that's a hard thing and a hard conversation I had to have with my friends. You may have seen that I just posted a funny meme. Dude, I'm posting that because I'm miserable inside. So it was those tough conversations that helped me through my inner circle understanding. There's also the question of, again, me being me and being on TV. Well, you're on TV. You're the morning anchor of News12 Long Island. You have your dream job. What's wrong with you? Why are you complaining? Everyone is literally fighting their guts out on a battle that no one understands. And it's that understanding that people need to have more of, which I think people are, that will get us through this together. So fast forward to a couple months ago when I went public. I posted on my Instagram all of these thoughts that I was having, posted that I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder. I was, that I've struggled with it for every day for probably from 7 years old to now for 30 years. I love my social media family so much. And I am so thankful, talk about thankful. I am so thankful for them on a daily basis. And I'm so real with them that I felt like a phony, that I wasn't being upfront with some of the feelings that I was having. And it was like an epiphany when I pressed post, because the amount of comments that came through, not just commenting, oh, because, you know, Erin and it'll be okay. Me too. This too, me too, like constant, like my phone went off all night long. And it was just like, wow, I'm so freaking not alone. And if we can have these conversations together, we can help each other. You struggle alone with this disorder a lot. A lot of it is alone feelings. Sitting curled up in that bedroom in the corner with a blanket over you all day sometimes, not being able to talk to anyone about it. But it's the conversations and the openness and the going public about what maybe your struggles are. You don't have to tell people everything, but giving them a sense of what you're going through, it can take so much weight off of your shoulders, so much. I felt like a whole body was lifted off of my shoulders when I told people what I was going through, and not just my close friends. So what do we do to help? We go to therapists. There's a big stigma involved with therapists and medication and how to treat anxiety. Break down the barriers. Seeking help has made me live the life that I am living now. I feel like I am able to walk through life on a normal day and get through days without having an anxious breakdown. I talk to a therapist once a week, and I finally have myself on a medication that is right for me. A lot of people try medications right in the beginning because the therapist suggests it, and it's not for you, but you don't know until you try. That's the hard part. Give it some time. That's just my advice. Again, not professional, just Erin. Give it some time. Try to work out some medication or be in tune with your body. How do you feel? And then you go back to that doctor and you go, I was feeling this. And they'll be able to tell you whether or not that's working or not. Lots of times you don't feel anything. You just feel like yourself. That's when I think it is my advice that truly a medication is working. And this is conversations you have with your doctor, but I know there's a big stigma with medication. And if I come out and I'm truthful and I say I am on it, then maybe other people will be like, you know what, let me give this a try. Because I know I have a friend who should be on medication right now, and he's not because of the stigma of medication. I don't want to take a pill every day for the rest of my life. Okay, well, you'll just feel this way every day for the rest of your life. But again, a conversation you should have with your doctor. But for me personally, it's changed my life. Some quick tips. Make a list. I do this a lot. On days that nothing is wrong, on days that everything's right, I will find something in my head that's wrong. I will not allow myself to have just a good day when I'm at a very, very anxious point. And that's tough. When you don't have something to worry about and you go searching for something to worry about, that's tough. I make a list of things. Make a list of things that have to get accomplished that I know is going to bring me anxiety. I make a list in my notes app on my phone. And when I can cross something off that list, and when that list isn't 10 things long and maybe it's 4 things long, I can take a deep breath. That's something that's really important. Create a support system. That's my number 2 piece of advice. It could be one person, it could be 10 people, but a support system and an inner circle who knows that if you're not answering a text message for a couple of hours, you're probably having anxious feelings and anxious thoughts and having a bad day. That doesn't mean they stalk you and they text you but they understand. And they're not sending, the fire department to your house. They get it. I have 4 or 5 friends that know exactly what I'm thinking when I'm thinking it, because I've been so honest with them. And gosh, has it helped me so much. And the last piece of advice, which is something that one of you, actually my friend Jess's husband, Matt, he didn't know I had anxiety and responded to my post saying he has anxiety. And he said that the best piece of advice that he could give me is a just one phrase: ride the wave. And I've thought about that, and I've said that phrase to myself every day since he said that to me. What does it mean? It means what you want it to mean. For him, he told me it means ride the wave of that feeling for the moment. Just that feeling. Don't think about tonight. Don't think about next week. Don't think about Christmas. Don't think about your family that you're going to have. Don't think about the future problems, because what is anxiety? Fear of the future. Ride this wave. So just for example, I ordered this wrong stupid door, and it was an expensive door, and it's a custom door, and I messed up, and it got delivered to my house and it was wrong. And I was crying during commercial breaks this morning, if I'm being honest, taking deep breaths. It sounds stupid, right? There's a little more meaning behind it. It was my dad's gift to me before he died. There's a little more meaning behind it. So I don't want you to think I'm just like crying over spilled milk. But I rode that wave until I could get myself down to kind of sturdy ground. And I just kept telling myself, walking to the studio during the commercial break, ride the wave, ride the wave. Your false eyelashes are falling off because your tears are getting, ride the wave, ride the wave, ride the wave. And it helps. It helps me. Maybe it will help you. It's just a little piece of advice from my friend Matt. I'm just going to end on a quote. It's not a quote from anyone famous. It's from me, and it's what I write down, and it's what I tell myself all the time. Anxiety is not a weakness. I choose to think of it as an authentic character trait that needs a little support sometime. So with that, I say thank you. I am blessed to be a part of this group, and I am honored to be able to share my story with you guys tonight.
Wow, that was inspiring, Erin. I have chills. I really appreciate, we all appreciate everything that you've brought forward tonight, just your openness and your courage to share your story and giving tips. So helpful. I will go and get that book, The Art of Imperfection. Thank you so much, Erin. Now I'd like to introduce Nancy Manigat, Chief Operating Officer, who is also a licensed clinical social worker at CN Guidance and Counseling Services. She is going to provide some helpful tips on trying to cope during this time. Nancy, good evening.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I still have chills from Erin, too, so I'm trying to, These last few months have been very, very stressful and challenging, to say the least. You know, the effects of the pandemic on top of the normal stress of the holidays has had a profound effect on all of our mental health. My job for the next few minutes is to give you some helpful tips on how to manage the extra stress and anxiety that we're all feeling during this time. To put it in context, our bodies were not meant to endure such prolonged states of stress. So when anxiety and stress build up in your system, it can overwhelm you and make you feel extremely tired and even sick, just like Erin was saying. The need to take care of yourself, take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit is important now more than ever. So the first piece of advice I want to give you is for you to give yourself some grace. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Cut yourself some slack. No one is on their A game. So forgive yourself for not being on yours. Learn how to say yes to yourself by saying no to others. Make time in your day for self-care, because in stressful times like these, self-care is more about self-preservation. The second tip is to take care of the basics, the things that we were told to do all of our lives. Eat well to give your body the fuel and energy it needs. Stay well rested to give your body the time it needs to heal during sleep. And stay hydrated by drinking lots of water. What you eat affects your sleep. How you sleep affects your appetite, and how much you drink affects both. Exercising is another way to care for your emotional needs. It helps release the hormones that regulate mood, and it makes you feel better. Think of exercise as a gift to yourself. Do active things that are fun and make you happy. Find ways of incorporating more daily movement into your life. Here's another important tip. Take advantage of the health benefits of a mindfulness practice, such as meditation, yoga, or prayer. These mindfulness practices help release or pause all of our thoughts and inspire us to live more fully in the moment. Just meditating twice a day promotes emotional and physical health and self-awareness. The next tip is to create and maintain a daily routine. Like Erin was saying, fear of the unknown is the bedrock of anxiety. When you create a daily routine, you bring some certainty and control back into your life. Make sure you wake up and go to bed the same time every day. If you're still working from home, get dressed and do your regular grooming routine. Feeling that you can count on a routine will help decrease your anxiety. The next tip is very important. Make a concerted effort to engage more in the world around you to decrease your isolation. Find creative ways to spend time with family, friends, and even your pets. Make a commitment to contact at least one person each day. Make plans to take a walk with someone or meet up on opposite sides of a front porch or a park bench and catch up on life. Make a date with a friend to watch a virtual concert. Make sure you do not miss any self-help meetings or support groups that were part of your support system. And if you feel as if all of this is too much for you to handle on your own, reach out for professional help. Altruism is another way to instill hope and resiliency. Consider giving back to your community by volunteering or devoting time to helping others less fortunate than you. If your Thanksgiving or your Christmas or your Hanukkah plans have changed, Consider volunteering at a food pantry that day. When you give others hope, you receive it as well. Find ways to bring joy and humor into your life. A hearty laugh also releases endorphins and adrenaline, and it reduces the stress hormones. Laughter is the best medicine for the spirit. As for the holidays, remember the true meaning of the holiday. Focus on how the holidays make you feel. Is it joy? Is it happiness? Does it bring laughter and comfort? Does the spirit of giving and the spirit of love make you feel good? Or does it bring you closer to God? Find creative ways to recreate these feelings. Remember that happiness comes from within. The change that you make has to come from within you. You have to double down in these times and find the reserves to take care of yourself. Remember that self-care is about self-love and self-preservation. So I want to leave you with an excerpt from my favorite poem, Desiderata. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. Thank you.
That was a beautiful excerpt. Thank you, Nancy, for your guidance and important tips. This Hour of Hope is the culmination of a month-long social media initiative by CN Guidance called Thankful for You, where people have been posting on social media a photo of someone they're thankful for this year to raise awareness of mental health issues and critical donations for CN Guidance. If you're able to donate, a link is included in the Hour of Hope email invitation. Now we're about to show you a video that features how Long Islanders got involved in the Thankful for You campaign. You will also hear from CN Guidance Board Chairman James O'Brien, and the video will kick off with a news story profiling CN Guidance and Counseling Services done by NBC's Today Show. We hope you enjoy this presentation.
Recovery for me looks like authentic personal relationships, actually experiencing and being present for all of that, instead of walking through relationships and walking through activities in life just completely numbed out.
I'm coming up on 7 months clean, which I'm very proud of. Thank you. There are everyday struggles in my relationships or my engagement with the world that I still come up against. Yeah. And that's why having, Central National Guidance and my groups are so critical, because I get to talk that stuff out.
My name is Joseph Cavallo. I'm a person in long-term recovery from a substance use disorder, and I'm a certified recovery peer advocate and outreach coordinator on our mobile unit. So, traditionally, meeting with a drug and alcohol counselor or a social worker, there's kind of like a hierarchy in this relationship. It's not really like on an even playing field. So as a recovery coach or a peer advocate, when you can share your own broken moments with them and kind of get on an even playing field with them, be able to walk them through what it looks like to come out the other side of that, there's a trust that's built.
The team consists of a prescriber or a doctor. We have 2 clinicians, an RN, peers, an outreach coordinator, and a case manager. When someone calls us, it's a very small window. When someone has reached out for help when there's substance use involved. So we're able to really meet those individuals where they're at.
You're going to get this blue bag. You're going to get a pair of gloves. You're going to get a face mask, alcohol pads, and 2 4-milligram doses of Narcan.
So we see it on a daily basis. A lot of the individuals we service are opioid dependent, and the vast majority of them have had multiple overdoses. I have many friends that I grew up with that weren't given the opportunity at living a life in long-term recovery because Narcan just wasn't readily available.
I was on opiates for 25 years. I had doctors writing me 650 pills a month, which is what I was taking. I've overdosed in minutes. Overdoses are a dime a dozen, and they're everywhere now. And unfortunately, I know so many people that are still doing drugs. I just thought it was important to have the Narcan. That way, if something happens, I'm ready to help them and hopefully save a life.
Thank you very much.
Community members can actually carry this around and have this life-saving tool readily available. Shut that. Right. What's going on? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
How are things going? Where are you living now?
Good. I'm staying the roommate for right now.
Tommy was one of the first individuals that we really serviced ongoing through the mobile unit. He was the first individual that we picked up right out of county jail.
You actually pushed me, you showed up, you gave a crap. And to some people, that may not mean so much, but it means a lot. Because, you know, like when we're in our vulnerable state, when we first get out, we feel like that nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to listen. We're just a drug addict, a junkie. When I first met Joe, it was an instant connection. Joe's been where I'm at. I overdosed over 11 times, 11 overdoses, and I'm still here. I don't care what anybody says, but that's definitely a sign that it's definitely not my time to go.
Good to see you, Jim. I just hope that people will learn that a substance use disorder or a mental health disorder is not something that you should feel guilty or ashamed about. Most media pieces you see or things in the news, it's all the negative side. It's the arrests, it's the overdose deaths, it's the actual abuse of the substance and everything that comes along with that. You don't see highlighted much what recovery looks like. When we step out of the shadows and we're kind of willing to talk about it, not be ashamed about it, walk hand in hand with other people and walk them through that process, we can kind of continue to break down those walls. I feel personally like everybody is in recovery from something. It's not substances for all individuals, but I think we all need personal relationships. We all need community. You know, I think that we were all created to kind of do life together.
Good evening. I'm Jim O'Brien. I'm president of the board of directors of Central Nassau, or CN Guidance, as we're known. They asked me to speak about who I'm thankful for, and easily I could say for the staff, the administration, for all the people who provide service. I can say it to the fellow members of the board that I work with, and I am thankful for all of that. And I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for a lot of things that have happened, but I think there's one group we can't forget, and that's you. By watching this and participating tonight, you are showing a willingness to help the people of our community who need the most help. The people we serve are last in line. They've always been last in line and probably always will be. And if you're not there to provide the safety net to protect them, nobody will. So on behalf of the board, on behalf of the agency, on behalf of everybody, I want to thank you all for participating tonight in this fundraiser. And thank you for your support, either today or in the future. Thank you.
Welcome Sato, Development Coordinator here at CN Guidance and Counseling. I'm so thankful that you joined us for this part of our Thankful for You campaign. The next segment that I'm introducing says thank you and recognizes all of the wonderful restaurants and companies and business owners that helped us through our Feed the Frontline initiative in the spring. We hope you enjoy the rest of this video and our segment and have a wonderful evening. Thanks.
Thankful to CNG for giving me a warm roof over my head.
Hey, people ask me all the time what I'm thankful for. And the truth of it is CN Guidance. The place saved my life. 25 years on painkillers, 17, 18 detox rehabs, overdoses, withdrawal. I can't even count how many times. This was my last hope. And I walked in here and I wasn't just a client. I was a person, not just a number. I was somebody, and somebody cared about me. And that was the first time I've ever gotten it.
You know, when I came to CNG over a decade ago, I didn't think I was going to be able to really stand up again, let alone turn my own key. And I'm just grateful when I did come that the staff and the purpose and everybody from the top to the bottom was really, really there for the clients.
I'd like to thank Central Nassau and be one of the people on my list of being thankful for giving me the opportunity to be part of an incredible team that does incredible work.
When I joined CNG, I had lost a lot of my friends and acquaintances prior to joining. I have since considered a couple of people there that I can truly say are my friends.
My name is Jason Lipiak, and I'm a Long Island Market President for M&T Bank. M&T is proud to be participating in this event. Now more than ever, funds are needed for organizations like Central Nassau, who have not been able to hold their traditional fundraising events. At M&T, we've continued to support organizations like Central Nassau, even though fundraising events have to be canceled or modified. We are particularly moved by the selflessness of direct care providers and all the staff at Central Nassau for meeting the urgent needs of our community fighting mental health and substance abuse issues. We at M&T are thankful for all the essential workers who continue to work on behalf of the health and safety of our communities during this difficult time. As we approach Thanksgiving, I hope we can all understand and reflect on the difficulties and challenges of the past year. Let us all take time to give thanks to our families and the people in our lives who support and encourage us to carry on and remain hopeful. Please support Central Nassau in this Hour of Hope, their virtual fundraising event. I would like to turn this over now to my colleague, Brian Stone.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, I'm Brian Stone from M&T, and I have known the great work of Central Nassau Guidance for many years. I'm grateful to M&T that we are part of this Hour of Hope virtual event and the Thankful for You fundraising campaign. These have been trying times during the COVID-19 pandemic with uncertain financial conditions, social and mental health concerns, with life and death consequences. I know this personally. Of course, our son Tom, who suffered from mental and substance use issues for over 10 years, passed away this May 1st from an accidental overdose. Fortunately, we have had the support of mental health professionals for many years. We are thankful for support organizations like Central Nassau Guidance, for its programs and services for individuals and families with mental and substance use issues. These services and the caring individuals behind this support allowed us to have a deeper knowledge and understanding of our son's condition, ultimately leading to a deeper and more loving relationship with our son. Our son Tom actually loved the cold weather, and he and I would take walks with the dogs almost every night, no matter what the conditions outside. We planted the blue spruce evergreen behind me in his memory. More than ever, organizations like Central Nassau need our financial assistance and support. Many people do not have the resources to get the support that they need for their loved ones and family. Central Nassau provides support to all those in need, but in times like this, their programs and services are subject to financial constraints just when the community needs are increasing. Therefore, more than ever, they need our financial support. Thank you so much for your generosity and letting me be part of the Hour of Hope event.
Morning and happy Thanksgiving. Even in these challenging times, there are many things to be thankful for with COVID around, challenging, but we'll make it through it. You know, one of the things is Central Nassau Guidance. They're doing a tremendous job, and helping people in mental health and drug abuse. This crisis has brought on an explosion, in those two areas. And thank God those teammates there and those loyal employees are doing everything they can to mitigate the circumstances. Thank you, Nassau Guidance. I'm also thankful for my family, Diane, my bride of 46 years, my 2 children, my 5 grandchildren. All are healthy and doing well. I'm so blessed, to have that. And can't thank them enough for all the support they've given me. Lastly, I'm thankful for Alcott HR, a business that I co-founded 33 years ago. My teammates there have done a tremendous job in helping small business and those employees and those small businesses navigate through some challenging healthcare issues, 401k issues, just general advice in HR, unemployment issues, unfortunately, of what's happening now. So I'm thankful for them and all those teammates that are doing a good job. With that, happy Thanksgiving and stay well to all. Thank you.
The Thankful for You campaign runs through the month of November in recognition of Thanksgiving. If you would like to get involved, it's easy. All you need to do is post a photo of someone you're thankful for on Facebook, Instagram, include the hashtag #ThankfulForYou and tag CN Guidance. If you're able to donate, a link is included in the Hour of Hope email invitation. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. A huge thank you to Erin Colton for spending this Hour of Hope with us. In the future, we will hold a dedicated Q&A with Erin. Once we have a date for the Q&A, we will email an invite to everyone attending this Hour of Hope. From all of us at CN Guidance and Counseling Services, stay safe and well, and we are thankful for you. Good night, everyone.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. You can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying.